What's proper dog death etiquette? Is it like, okay, I'm supposed to let my dog die at home in front of me, and that's I'm supposed to find my dog, and that's the proper transition? Or are you, when you see your dog kind of doing some weird shit, and they're up there, are you like, let me take you to the
you take him to the vet or animal hospital for sure.
What if the vet's like, yeah, he's getting old. I don't see anything wrong, but I can't tell you that he's not gonna die soon.
They do go like the dog's gonna die, and like the dog, like he'll probably die within the next couple of days. You can take him back home.
Next couple of days must mean you're doing some real deathly shit in the house for them to be like next couple of days, like for you to take your dog in, like
no, like old. This happened to my mom. They were like, your dog's gonna die.
How old was the dog?
Like 13, 14.
13, 14. So okay,
but then the dog survived.
The dog heard them.
Yeah, the dog was like all you'll see, and survived like another 8 months. But they were literally like, the dog's gonna die.
But that's what I'm saying. 8 months.
Like they were like, the dog like lost his legs already, like he's dead, and the dog was like, no, I'm gonna walk again. And then I'm gonna die.
That's dope. I like that.
Yeah,
I like that story way better
for sure.
Yeah, no, I think about that sometimes because like it's weird. I have like when I go on, like out of town or something, I leave Nucky with the different people who I leave him with. They'll be like, Nucky's acting weird and he's acting really old. How old is Nucky? I'm like, Nucky's getting up there. He's 10 years old. He's not that old. But they'll be like, he's acting really weird. But then whenever he gets around me, he doesn't act that way. He goes right back to annoying young Nucky, wild Nucky. So then I'm like, yo, will I ever know when Nucky's actually going to go? Or will I just wake up one day
and have to get a shovel? Weird? Like, what do they mean by Nucky's acting weird? Because isn't that a daily occurrence for Nucky?
Well, no, they don't mean the normal weird stuff. They know him well enough to know that weird
Does he have like
stuff.
maybe it's separation anxiety?
Why would Nucky be... Nucky didn't even like me that much to have separation anxiety. Yeah, I would feel like Wrigley would have it more than Nucky. I don't even want like Nucky to really claim me outside of this house, honestly.
Maybe Nucky just wants to control the situation, you know?
That's probably what it is.
Or if he feels like he's not in control if you're not around.
Or he feels like
dominates you.
Or he feels like he is in control. I was going the opposite direction.
In his brain.
I was going to go where he feels like he is in control and he knows that he should not be in control. Like Nucky,
because he
knows
like
that I am his control.
Here.
Well, he knows that I keep him in check, and he needs that. You ever know the crazy kid at school who's kind of wild, but he also has good parents, and you're like, if they didn't keep him in check, who knows how wild that kid really would be. Okay. That's Nucky. Nucky's like, you'd be like, yo, would Nucky even be here without me? That's a legitimate question I have to ask myself because he's such a wild card and he's so loose that if I didn't keep him in check, man, who knows? Nucky be...
I like that Nucky's sleeping right now. I feel
never happens.
Yeah, usually... Actually, when I pulled out the laptop and started the whole process, Nucky is always like looking at the laptop. I feel like he was a little bit like, back to the grind. And, in his brain, this is what his job.
Yeah, but now he's like, is he taking off or was he like, now that we're recording and everything's okay?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he trusts the process finally.
Or maybe he's getting old, Chris, and this is weird behavior.
It does feel old. I like old Nucky.
I like sleeping Nucky.
He needs to calm down.
Nucky, hear his name and doesn't fucking perk up. I like that.
I'm going to address an obvious thing that people who are just listening can't see, but if you're viewing, you can. You have a giant cast on your foot.
It ain't a real cast yet, but yeah, I got a cast on my foot because my foot got discollated. That's what Rod Harper said in an interview one time. They said, what happened? He said, I think I discollated my shoulder. So
it got incredibly discollated.
Severely discollated. I'm happy they could discollate it back.
You made everybody on Instagram just go, oh my God. And it didn't have a sensitive content warning for a while. I don't know if it does now. It should. Your fucking ankle was going 90 degrees in another direction.
I don't think it has sensitive content warning because it never broke skin. It wasn't even a break. It's just a discolation.
It looks like Gumby.
And if you are listening, we do know we're saying it wrong. We do know it's dislocated. Dislocated my whole foot. I found out today it was my whole foot. It wasn't my actual ankle. Because if you dislocate your ankle, apparently it's automatic fracture. So you break something. I didn't break anything, no ligament damage, no anything. I just discollated my foot from my entire leg.
How? That can happen? Like your
Apparently
whole,
that can
just
fucking
like
happen.
Lego popped out?
Yeah, popped out.
And Lego popped back
and
in?
he said, it actually happened to, I think, his brother-in-law once at the Christmas party, him helping him up, and he popped back in 5 seconds. It was funny because there were some
What?
people who...
My foot can just go like sideways?
It's a very, very, very apparently... Alahna, can we look it up exactly? But it's a very rare dislocation. So I almost said it wrong on purpose from an accident at the time. But it's a very rare dislocation. So, no, he was just saying like, yeah, the foot was basically separate from the whole leg. So yeah, I put that on Instagram. I did. I was lighthearted the whole time. And I put it on TikTok. I just got a TikTok. Did I tell you that?
I saw
TikTok, bro.
You took off on TikTok in 1 week.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna join
4
TikTok
days, 3
now.
days, some shit. Yeah, it was
You
popping.
were the anti-TikTok guy.
I still am.
And now you just snuck up behind me and joined.
Yeah.
And now I look like I'm the anti-TikTok guy.
Because part of me was like, you know what? Most people in the world still don't even know I do music. And I don't talk about it so much. I don't try to use my other platforms to be like, you better fucking get this. Like, I don't mention on ridiculousness. I mentioned it here a couple times. But I was like, TikTok is a great platform. Just to let people know that you at least got some music, got different things going on. And I just posted a couple videos I got, and my personality, I guess, shined through. And people were like, Steelo, Brim's on TikTok. Got to follow you. And then, it kind of took off a little bit.
Nice.
Posted my ankle on there. That was crazy. People watched that video. I think it's at like 10 million views in like a day. That's crazy. But
my theory is that you dislocated it for TikTok.
Man.
You were like, I got to get a content strategy.
Nah, I wish, man. I wish. But yeah, I mean, the shit is insane. The whole thing is insane. Luckily, there was no break. There was no actual tears. There's no actual damage in there. So
you just went to the hospital and they just popped it back in.
No, it wasn't that easy. It wasn't that easy at all. We went there. And
you got it playing basketball?
I got it playing basketball, and I'll tell you how it went down. Okay, I'll give you the full story, Chris, since you want to hear the full.
That's why we're
You guys
here.
want to hear the full story?
We do.
No, I'm joking. We'll get into the full story really quick. The full story went like this. So I be smoking, y'all. Y'all may know that or may not. So I be smoking weed here and there. I've been smoking and hooping for a while. And I ain't like who I was becoming. I was becoming a fucking shell of myself. Just getting out there each week. And I'd be like, I'm just here for cardio. I don't care what's really going on. I'm going to really just pass. If I got an open three, I guess I'll take it. But not aggressive at all like myself. I'm a fucking scorer, Chris, if you don't know that. I'm an offensive
And you're
threat.
saying weed was making you a lazy
Weed was making me a little more lazy. I had a couple games good on weed early and lied to myself and was like, you can smoke whenever you want and play basketball. But it wasn't really mixing with my basketball energy, right?
Okay.
So I made a decision that I didn't want to go back out there and play basketball unless I was going to give a real Steelo Sterling effort out there on the court and be who I am. And that's aggressive, that's attack, that's be who I am out there. So I went to the gym, got some shots up early too.
And you didn't smoke weed.
Didn't smoke weed. I chose to go sober. I didn't smoke weed.
not smoking weed.
Not only did I not smoke weed, I drank a pre-workout.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, which is just cocaine in a can. And I drank a pre-workout. So part of me wants to blame the individual who did not let me land. He was trying to box me out while I was in the air. I landed on his leg. Part of me wants to blame him and be like, you gotta let the man land no matter what. The other part of me knows that pre-workout had me going. I was a whole different level of myself that I don't even think I've been since college. I was like, yo, I'm going to the whole motherfuckers, and I was like really trying to attack. And it was like, nigga, who do you think you are anymore? So, the whole leg clack went crazy. T.O. Terrell Owens, shout out to him, who's been a guest on the show. He actually was the one who shot the video of my foot. That's why I tagged him in it.
Oh, fuck.
He shot the video the whole time. If you watch the video, I'm talking pretty calm and pretty cool about the whole thing, which people were like, why were you not crying and going crazy? I'm like, I just didn't know the many options I had. I'm not about to yell in these people's faces. And then on top of that, my foot is in a different direction. There is nothing I can do. I can't get up and take myself to the hospital and speed and drive away and run. I went through all these things in my head. The only thing I can do is shut the fuck up, sit here and wait on the ambulance to get here. here. They get there quick. Get there pretty quick. I think they told me I was white. They get there pretty quick, and
a white guy. He's down.
He's down. What happened? He's white. I don't need to say anything else. So they pulled up pretty quick, and I had to cut my Jordan off. They had to cut my Jordan off, which a lot of people were mad about. People didn't even care about me. They were more mad about the Jordan get cut up. But cut the Jordan off. Foot was pointing in a whole different direction, looking crazy. I put hella memes around it because it really looked like my foot was giving directions, throwing up hella shit.
It looked like a Facetune edit photo.
It was insane. Like, so yeah, from there went to the hospital maybe for 2.5 hours. They still didn't really attend to me. Then they finally gave me a couple things of morphine. It was not doing anything affecting me at all. I didn't know why until we got on the phone and I brought up the pre-workout again, and it hit me that the pre-workout was stop. Pre-workout can stop morphine.
Yeah.
Morphine's so strong, they gave me 2 doses. It didn't do shit.
It's not doing anything.
That goddamn
Celsius.
Celsius is in the system. Look, Celsius, that shit works for sure. Yeah, it was in my system going crazy, so I'm guessing the morphine didn't work. So then they finally volunteered.
How did they find out the morphine doesn't work? You just said it's not feeling any better?
I'm talking to them.
Okay.
They yeah.
They expected you to kind of like,
what level your pain is. And I'm like, it's still an 8. And they're like, I'm not saying 10 just because I'm pretty sure it's a dude on my left that got shot and a woman on my right who having a baby. So I'm just trying to be considerate and not say 10. But I'm really feeling crazy that my whole foot is in a different direction. And I'm just sitting here with no medicine pretty much. So I'm just like, this is insane, fam. So finally, they were like, we got to give him a little ketamine. I don't like drugs.
They gave you ketamine.
They gave me a little ketamine. I don't be fucking with drugs. I ain't no pill popper.
They did that for pain. I thought that was like a psychological.
Well, they were gonna put me out real quick to snap my foot back. Once they found out it was dislocated, they was like, we're gonna snap it back in place. Let's put them out. But we don't need anything too aggressive. We need to we wait on a respiratory doctor. Let's give them something kind of like ketamine can possibly get us there. Apparently, they gave me the ketamine. I get knocked out with the ketamine. The ketamine got me tripping. I'm playing a whole fucking video game in my head.
I just can't believe they gave you ketamine. That just like blows my mind. So you're on like this medical ketamine, which is like the dopest ketamine.
Yeah, they already let me know it's only going to work for like 10 to 20 seconds.
I feel like they're just like drug dealers hanging out next to you. I don't know, want some morphine? I don't know.
They're like, yo, it's a ketamine. The ketamine, I'm playing a little video game in my head. And at first, I didn't want to go to the light. I'm going to all kind of lights in my head. I'm like, nigga, you might be dying right now. You don't do drugs. This shit's crazy. And then I get to a place in the little video game in my head, and I'm like, I think if you beat this board, that mean they put your ankle back in place. I think that you're about to pass your final board, which means they're going to wake you up and be like, ankle all fixed. They wake me up. So
you're like this when you're like on the ketamine?
Yeah, I'm holding Alahna's hand because I'm trying not to freak out, and I'm trying to know that there is a sense of reality still there while this thing is obviously taking me into a loopy place. So I'm like, all right, cool. So once I get there, I'm like, all right, at least I think my ankle gonna be back in place. I wake back up after that 10, 15 seconds, my ankle is still pointing west for no fucking reason. And I'm like, yo, why would they not put my ankle back while I'm kind of knocked out? Alana's like, because you yelled at them a whole bunch of times to stop touching you. And I'm like, wait, what? She was like, yeah, you were screaming at them. Don't fucking touch me. I don't want no more drugs. And I was like, well, don't listen to me. I need drugs. I need to get through this process. So finally, they just decide to put me out on the fucking shit they gave Michael Jackson. Maybe they are just pumping drugs in me, Chris. But they gave me the shit they gave Michael Jackson to put me out. And they finally were able to put my foot back attached to my body. And it's just swollen right now. Honestly, it's just crazy swollen. I still got to wear this thing for a month, maybe 2.
That's not that long.
That's not that long.
It's definitely a month.
Totally different.
10 weeks.
That's not true. He said for the common person. He did not know I was part Wolverine.
They say that weed is a gateway drug, but I actually see here, because you didn't smoke weed, first you get into uppers, with the pre-workout. Then before you know it, you're on morphine, you're doing ketamine, you're passed out cold. I think this is a pro-weed story.
Yeah, it is a pro-weed story, because if I would have smoked weed, I would have passed that all back out and I would have landed on my feet. But I chose to go finger roll up, motherfucker. And I mean, I still go to the hole here and there, but I don't know if I'm just pearling niggas from the dotted line. And I was pearling him from the dotted line. So it's definitely his fault for not letting me land. But I think he also was so surprised that I took it up to the hole from where I did. So here we are, Chris.
Wow.
Welcome to Wine and Weed.
Welcome to Wine and Weed. I'm Chris Reinacher, a.k.a. The Connoisseur, a.k.a. your new baby daddy, a.k.a. Elusive Moose, a.k.a. La La La, a.k.a. You like it, love it, gotta have it, aka Saxophone Jones. And with me, as always,
I am Sterling Steelo Brim, aka that dude, aka S the B to the Bree, aka that third leg known as just me, aka Concerned Father, aka
is that his second leg? Oh, it's just me.
Oh man,
because one of you.
Yeah, we know, we get it. Piece of shit.
That's fine.
Okay, Alahna. Yeah, she's not really here with us right now.
I like Alahna just from a distance.
That's funny.
That's funny.
What is this? Season 10 Styles, and last but not least, your Uncle Elroy. And with us, a very monotone Alahna Jade.
Hi, it's me, Alahna, aka She Needs a Nap. AKA,
She needs some milk.
Yeah,
I need some milk.
you obviously do.
Damn. Yeah, my foot looked crazy. It looked like an eagle claw. I had to put that on there. My foot looked insane. Because my toes are not even normally shaped like that. They were shaped like that because my foot was also flipped in a different direction.
Is that the worst accident you think you've ever been in?
Yeah, I broke my toes before. I broke my wrist before. But this was like, I saw it from the beginning. I saw myself landing. It was kind of in slow-mo. And I was instantly like, it's broke. Thank God it was not broken.
Were you in the back of an ambulance?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, have you ever been in the back of an ambulance?
One time, because one of my friends was having seizures, I went with him to the hospital, but never for myself.
Was there a little bit of novelty to it? Like for a second, you were like, "Oh shit, I'm in the back of an ambulance."
Well, no, my dad was a fireman, so we used to be in those shits all the time. Yeah.
I've only been in the back of an ambulance once, and I was very much like, "Damn, ambulances are pretty cool."
Oh no, I used to stay on the trucks and the ambulance and stuff, but never for myself. This was really me.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that good of a setup for my leg. My leg was jumping all over the place and shit while I was still.
Fuck, I didn't think about that. This sounds terrible. I'm surprised that you can approach it with so much humor the next day. I got hit by a car like a little bit, and I was like, pray for me, everybody.
No, I fucking filmed 3 little music videos that night, and then I filmed Ridiculous, and there's 6 episodes of it the next morning. You know, the grind don't stop, Chris. We got to work out here, baby. And now I'm here for Wine and Weed, for my Wine and Weed family. Foot up in the air, hearts to the sky.
Hashtag hustle culture.
Hustle culture. Is that a real hashtag? Or
I feel like that's like Gary V world. Gary V says,
I was just going to say, it feels like a white person stole that and made it into like hustle culture. And it's like hustle and culture are 2 things that are words from the black community. And it feels like a white guy. Yeah, now a white guy has a Gary V.
Gary V said this week that he swallows every piece of gum just to save a little bit of time.
What the fuck is he talking about?
He put out a little video that was like, I swallow every piece of gum I chew. I don't know. I just don't like wasting that extra time. Just walk into the trash can and back. Just swallow the gum.
I don't want to hate on Gary V.
And it was like, how do you save time?
I don't want to hate on Gary V because I know a lot of people who like Gary V. I don't know much about Gary V, but like, what? What the fuck is that?
He's a parody of himself sometimes. This was definitely one of the
So he was joking.
It was an honest video. He said it like he says everything.
There's no way he meant that.
He didn't say it like a tip. He said it like, I have this compulsion, and I guess if you look behind it, it's probably because I feel like it's a waste of time. But it was kind of presented through his social media team like, Gary V swallows gum. How do you save time? Hustle culture.
Damn, that's funny.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe we should get him on the show, huh?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Andrew Tate banned from Instagram and Facebook for misogynistic content. Social media influencer and former kickboxer Andrew Tate, who has amassed a large following online, has been banned from Facebook and Instagram. Meta, the company behind both of the social media platforms, confirmed that Tate had been banned on Friday as a result of his content. Tate has been labeled a violent misogynist by some of his most vocal critics, but he has continued to grow a following on various social media platforms, including TikTok, by pandering to impressionable young men with sexist content. The 35-year-old has repeatedly shared violent sentiments directed towards women and marginalized groups and was previously banned from Twitter in 2017 after he suggested victims of sexual assault should bear some responsibility. Other notable but equally disgusting comments from the controversial figure included when he said he would threaten to kill a woman with a machete if he was accused of cheating, and when he said he finds 18 or 19-year-olds more attractive than older women because they have, as he put it, been through less dick. In a statement earlier this month, Tate claimed he portrays an online character and is a success coach. He said that his content has nothing to do for hate for women, and that he's coaching his audience to avoid low-value people, which includes toxic men, he added. My mother is my hero. When he spoke to Rolling Stone about the ban this week, he said the media is spinning a false image of me on repeat, and Instagram bowing to pressure is a massive shame. The former kickboxer first gained infamy in 2016 after he was kicked off the show Big Brother when a video showed him attacking a woman with a belt. He later claimed the incident was consensual. As a result of his hateful content, organization Hope Not Hate has launched a petition calling for social media networks to remove him from their respective platforms. Earlier this year, police raided his home in Romania as part of a sex trafficking investigation after a woman said she was being held there against her will. The investigation is still ongoing, but the raid led to the recovery of 2 women.
What the fuck?
Yeah, and he also lived in the UK before, and he was being investigated for sex stuff, and then he moved to Romania, and now he's being investigated there for sex stuff.
Yeah, he said he moved to Romania. He moved there because it's easier to avoid rape charges in Eastern European countries.
All right, also I'll give you a big probably shock here, or maybe not. I don't know who the fuck this is.
Oh, you don't know who this guy is?
Why would I?
Okay, so for some reason, I think it's so ironic that like he's being like he's getting headlines for being banned from all these platforms, because I feel like on my TikTok, this guy was pushed super hard into the algorithm. And
so you've seen this person?
I've seen this guy a ton of times. I actually talked about him on the podcast, but I didn't know his name at that time. Someone in the comments said, I think he's talking about Andrew Tate. But he's kind of like this. I remember I said there's like this misogynistic asshole who keeps popping up on TikTok, and how would you feel about having somebody like that on the show, like almost so you can just have an argument with him, so you can like prove him wrong to his face? Because I've seen him on podcasts, and I think he's an idiot. I think he doesn't like have anything to back up any of his points with. I think he's capitalizing on guys who are like lonely, heartbreaking, broken, misogynistic for their own fucking reasons, and he's getting them all together. I also think he's consciously in his strategy being like a heel in a lot of ways, where he is saying things that are so extreme so that people, you know, make responses with him going, this guy, and that's why we know who he is. Like, he's so famous because he's
so famous.
He's like become a shooting star on platforms, and there are teachers across the country who are saying that young boys have gotten into him through TikTok, and that they like, as their brains are forming, they're like, the men's job is this, the women's job is this, and I don't need her telling me this because I'm a high value man. Like, there's a lot of like fucking third graders who are into Andrew Tate, and he's just like classic over the top gender role fighting, misogynistic. What do you mean I hate women? I love women. My mother's a woman. I've fucked hundreds of women.
So what?
I obviously love women. I take care of women. I treasure them. They're an object. They're my property. They belong to me.
Is he just clickbait? Like, why do people keep talking about him if he's a bad person? Like, why are we giving him the
because
shout
people love to go like, no, not this guy. And he is like absurd. Like, to the fact that he's running with I play a character, like Alex Jones kind of defends himself by saying I'm playing a character. Like, okay, I get your strategy is that you're playing this character for attention, but also like there are plenty of kids and adults that do not realize like that are taking you seriously. And I think you mean for yourself to be taken seriously too.
I mean, he sounds god awful, but what separates him from other platforms? I don't know. I'm asking. I
think he's getting a lot of popularity really fast, and I think it's an interesting question of like, if deplatforming people works, or if it's just going to make a new platform for everyone who's deplatformed, and everybody who wants a certain point of view goes there, and that grows.
Do
and
we
becomes
care about
its own
that?
echo chamber? I mean, if it has a lot of power and becomes a main way of thinking.
Well, would you not like? So you want the villains and the bullies and the pieces of shit to stay on socials to just do better versus
I
sending them
believe
to a
in
different social.
deplatforming. I'm just looking at what could happen in the future by deplatforming people. But I believe in deplatforming people, and there isn't one that takes people in right now, and I respect that of the platforms, except probably Truth Social Media or whatever Trump's thing is. I don't see them going, no, Andrew Tate, you can't be here.
Yeah. What did this dude do before any of this though? I'm just trying to.
I
He's
guess
a
he was
kickboxer.
he was a
but
kickboxer
what
and was
he
on
done
a
Big
reality
Brother.
show.
That's not Big Brother. Got it.
Yeah.
So that's where he got known from, Big Brother.
He was a pretty big kickboxer, I believe. So then he did
How big
Big
can
Brother.
you really be as a kickboxer? I know the biggest kickboxer in the world.
So then he got the Big Brother thing, and he was kicked off Big Brother for a video came out of him assaulting a woman with a belt.
He's a liar. So I think he's said that he's a trillionaire or something like that. Or he expresses himself as a billionaire who rides Lamborghinis around and is a famous star, and it's from kickboxing. It's like Dan Bilzerian. It's
Can
like
I ask you a real
he's
question?
not actually like his money's from something else, and maybe it's not even that much money.
Can I ask you a real question?
Yeah.
Is he more affecting the ideologies from like little white boys? And that's like, is it more of a white thing? I've never heard of this guy. I'm just asking.
I've heard of him. You haven't been on TikTok.
Like I had not.
But so he's just on. He's big. Just
He's
on
big
everyone
on TikTok. He's very big on TikTok.
He's big on TikTok.
He's been doing a lot of podcasts and stuff.
And for what I
Andrew
see,
Tate,
what
right?
I see, well, so I think his TikTok strategy is also that he doesn't even have an account. He just has his little army posts so much.
He doesn't have
shit.
an account.
He's like infiltrated the algorithm on TikTok. He's a
haven't
strategist
seen
for
him.
sure. And have you been consuming TikTok as a viewer?
I've looked a little. Not crazy.
Well, he pops up.
And you
quite
would
a
have
bit.
probably heard about him on Twitter, like at least seen his name, especially recently.
Yeah. I saw his name recently, just saying banned though.
Do you
I
want to
never
like
heard
watch
of-
Andrew
No.
Tate clips or
But
anything?
why would I want to? Is my question.
I don't know, like just so we can have a better discussion.
Oh, you said, but I'm saying like, are we? My question is like, are we adding to the narrative of Andrew Tate, or like, are we trying to? You know what I'm saying?
By talking about him at all.
That's my question. Is like, if this person is irrelevant, if everything they're doing is to be relevant off irrelevance,
Yeah.
then like, why would we add to his?
I
relevance?
totally understand what you're saying. That's kind of what I was only saying that at the beginning because I don't
Yeah.
see a lot of people commenting about how much of a like strategist this guy is. And I think a lot of his ideas are like in order to get it in front of a lot of people, he infiltrates the algorithm, and he has gotten in front of a lot of people. And it's interesting that they're kicking him off. And I wonder if has TikTok said anything, or was he kicked off TikTok too? TikTok
TikTok probably don't care. TikTok probably like whatever.
They might not.
TikTok be taking my motherfucking music down there right away. Removing all my sound.
Yeah, right. He's like saying people should. He's like blaming rape victims for things, and they're like,
Oh,
not
really? He be
censoring
that
it.
wild.
Oh yeah, he'd be that wild for sure. He's like I think he's gone as far to say that. Like,
Yes, TikTok
in
banned him.
TikTok banned him good.
Andrew
So
Tate
then if
probably banned
multiple
from TikTok.
platforms are banning him, I don't want to help him on this podcast.
It's not helping him. I
It
think
is
that,
helping him though.
No, I think it's also getting the word out there that like this behavior and like this way of thinking is very hurtful and harmful to people. And that like as many people that might support him, there's greater numbers that don't support him and can like call out bad behavior.
For me, it's very apparent already. If social medias can all agree to ban you, you obviously are doing something so outrageous because we are on social medias. So many things are allowed on social media that could be considered detrimental to different communities or blah, 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 blah. But yet, freedom of speech. For you to be banned means that you are
Well, you're
Number
breaking
one, so
their...
powerful. I'll give you that much. That your voice is big enough, and secondly, that you're probably so wild that they're like, obviously we have grounds of doing this.
Yeah, you're breaking their terms and agreement, like rule, which you consent to when you sign up for an app. It's a private company, and you're agreeing that you're going to behave a certain way.
So if we want to get rid of this dude,
It's also just like a interesting like experiment that like the amount of people who would jump behind this guy. I don't know what that says about us or about men or about like where the hell these guys like what I don't know. It feels to me like probably
so he
like
has
a
an
lot
international
of hurt people.
voice.
Yeah, I mean, he has a voice in America, so I imagine it's quite an international voice.
Well,
But what I've
TikTok is what
heard-
you're saying, where he gets
yeah,
that's international
what
voice.
I've heard, like the way that it's translating to like real life America is that like it's kids.
Is it only in America?
I'm just saying that's what I've heard. Those are the things I've heard. From
No, I'm not asking you. I'm saying like, is it only in America in the sense of like, are they only affecting American kids?
I bet not. They're the same.
If I say if his voice
Types
is
of
big
people all over
everywhere,
the
why
world.
would it not be just a problem? Because this is more of a misogynistic thing. It doesn't have anything to do with race, right?
No, I think it's mainly misogynistic. It's mainly like men need to reclaim their place in society, and man and women's roles have changed. You know,
All
it's
right.
capitalizing on all those people who feel a sense of that, and then it's taking it to 10.
So we went so far in that anyway. That's gonna already. There has to be this guy. Then this guy has to exist in the sense of whenever there's evolution, whenever things change, there's gonna always be a big group of people who don't like that change and want to fight to get things back to whatever they believe things should be. There are a lot of quote unquote misogynistic men who believe that. I was having a conversation with one of my friends not too long ago, and he was telling me all this stuff of which women don't do, and women want to get mad, and you don't have to answer this part of it. But he's an African dude. I know. I'll throw it out there for people's own reasons to interpret whatever they want. And he was talking about black women, which I thought was interesting because he wasn't necessarily saying African women. He said black women in America. He's African, but he was saying how like they want all this stuff to complain about not having a man and this, but they don't want to do all these things like cook and clean and blah blah. And I was like just trying to explain to him simply like understanding the needs that you need and the things that you want. That is not necessarily, you can't push that on the full world. There is another man who is completely fine with being 50-50 in the household in a certain way or being comfortable being like, baby, you lead in these things because
Yeah, or
I'm
100 in either direction, but
if you need to be.
if that's what they want to do,
If that's what they wanna
and
do.
both people want to do.
But couldn't understand that, like, in his head, because society had made him believe so long that man looks at things this way, woman looks at things this way, he could only see it one way of, like, women don't want to do things that make them women. And I'm like, why do you think those things are the things that make them women? Who told you that?
I just want a mother. I just want a mother again.
A lot.
I want a mom to have sex with.
So is that what he is spewing out a lot of? Because
it's a lot of like stand back, honey. We rule the world. Like women are very like as a given. He just sees women as property.
what I think we're not being fair about is this. Property, no, I would never agree with that. What I think we're not being fair about it is there are a lot of women who feel like that they were more valuable at a certain way too. Of like, oh, now they want a woman that's got all these different things, be independent. I want to just cook and clean for you.
Yeah, which is fine too.
Which
Yeah.
is 100% fine. All I'm saying is like, it's all about delivery.
And there are
guessing this
probably
dude-
some people who listen to Andrew Tate and they go, and women, there's probably a small amount, but who listen to Andrew Tate and they're like, yeah, I just want to be someone's property. Maybe. I mean, I don't know.
No, I'm saying it's probably about delivery as well. It's probably also him being like, let me go to the most extreme peak and point I can go to get through a message that I can get through much. I don't know. I'm speculating now. I want to start with that. I don't know any of his stuff, so it's me just bullshitting. But I'm just trying to like unpack why this person would even be something now. And it's because
Definitely.
society has moved in a direction that empowers women more. So of course you're gonna have this pushback. It happens in any revolution. It happens in any, you know what I'm saying? Like any change when, you know what I'm saying?
And there's probably some men who are like, oh, and now I'm the devil because I believe these things and I want these things to happen. And theoretically, like, if somebody's okay with that dynamic, they should be able to like meet each other and have a nice time.
But you should also be able to.
I don't think that should be the given of society. But people who believe that don't seem to be people who want to like compromise.
It's the communication, it's the immaturity in the communication, and knowing that like, yeah, they could possibly verbalize that in a way that was like, oh, that's what you want. But it's the trauma, it's the whatever healing that person hasn't done, the person that wants the mama and wants to suck on a titty and feel like treat me a certain way that isn't able to communicate properly and saying, hey, I actually do just want someone that can nurture in a certain way and do these different things. But they're just like, how about women get in the kitchen and cook something and shut the fuck up from time to time?
I'll protect you and drive you around in dope cars and you know, like.
Oh, that's what he's saying.
I think
he has dope cars. Yeah. Oh, he has dope cars and shit.
He has dope cars.
Oh, you say he's like Dan Bilzerian with a podcast? I mean, with a voice.
He's like Dan
Bilzerian for real.
He thinks he like.
What do you mean?
That's his character. It's like a little Trumpy.
Oh, it's like Ric Flair.
No, it's like, I mean, I don't think playing a character.
So he is real life rich.
He's Donald Trump style.
He's real life rich,
where he's like a little rich and he says he's really rich.
But what's a little rich? Like
I don't know. But
how much rich? I'm looking him up now.
I mean, somebody's invested in him.
We went on this thing now for a fucking hour and a half. I'm looking him up. I'm gonna just look up celebrity net worth and see exactly how much Andrew says he's a trillionaire. I'm joking. Say it mean. Oh, here he is, the British kickboxer. He's worth $20 million. He was born in Chicago. What the fuck? This place is all over the place.
You just become an Andrew Tate fan by the end of the
podcast. This guy's great. Nah.
Well, fuck that guy, and I hope he's gone forever.
22-year-old student fatally shot by woman who posed as stranded driver. 22-year-old Adam Simji from Apoka, Florida, was fatally shot by a woman who he stopped to help after she posed as a stranded driver in Alabama. The Clay County Sheriff's Office confirmed that the student and his girlfriend, 20-year-old Michaela Paulus, pulled over to help a woman who claimed that her car wouldn't start on August 14th. The couple were students at the University of Central Florida and were driving through Talladega National Forest when the woman, Yasmin Hitter, flagged them down. The woman pulled a gun on the couple and forced them to walk into the woods. Simji pulled out his own gun during the incident and they exchanged gunfire. Hitter was shot multiple times in her torso while Simji was shot in the back. Paulus attempted to revive her boyfriend at the scene with CPR, but he died shortly after the shooter. According to authorities, it's believed that Hitter might have been living off the grid as part of a community in the National Forest described as armed and potentially violent. Hitter was taken to a nearby hospital and had surgery for her injuries and is facing charges including murder, 2 counts of kidnapping, and 2 counts of robbery. Paulus informed authorities that a second woman, 36-year-old Crystal Pinkins, was present at the scene but fled after Hitter shouted for help. Pinkins was later discovered by authorities near a group of tents approximately half a mile from the scene of the shooting, where she was accompanied by her 5-year-old son who was holding a loaded shotgun. Pinkins has since been charged with 1 count of murder, 2 counts of kidnapping, 2 counts of robbery, and 1 count of endangering the welfare of a child. In a Facebook post showed on Sunday, Paulus revealed that Simji was laid to rest. I have no doubts I'll see him in the next lifetime.
Okay, so I think I heard you up top, but I'm going to make sure you said this. This is in Florida, right?
Florida.
Okay. Just wanted to
no,
make
I'm
sure.
sorry. They were from Florida. It was in Alabama.
But they were from Florida.
The 2 students were from Florida.
Like, nice people were from Florida.
Yeah.
Nice people, and they were in Alabama. There's a whole community of people in Alabama.
All of these things blew my mind.
That like they are out here just armed and dangerous. They're teaching 5-year-olds how to shoot. Is there a real thing happening? Was MJ correct on this season of Pause with MJ saying the white people are coming? The white people are coming? Are they coming, Chris? She said there's a whole bunch of woods, white people that we don't know about and that we ignore, but there's a whole bunch of woods, white people getting ready for a whole war that we don't really know about. Do you know anything about this? Or do you not know the Woods Whites?
I had never heard of the Woods Whites until this episode, or until this article right here.
Really? This was your first time, Chris?
When
or
it
would
said
you not
an
tell me?
off-the-grid community, and then like it, Can you look that up? Like what that means?
Off the grid community.
Yeah, which I guess is like
can't look it
there's
up.
like under a bridge. There's like a dozen
You mean
to
like a viaduct?
100 like people just living kind of in like a tent city.
But and we
But
think they're homeless,
forever.
but they're not. They're like, we want to live like this.
Yeah, and like they.
It basically means living without being dependent on public utility companies and official power grid. Off-grid lifestyle often entails producing your own energy, growing your own crops and livestock, and living in a house away from the urban life.
And it means not having a social security number anymore. I made that part up, but it feels that way, right? It feels like you're that person's a ghost.
It
right
feels
now.
like there's probably a lot more cults than we realize. That's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
Do you feel
I'm
like
thinking this sounds like a cult, and I don't understand what the motive for this woman to go flag somebody down and randomly kill them with her 5-year-old there, and then the
Well,
5-year-old grabs the gun.
I think she was no. The 5-year-old. I think that was later on. They found
That
the
was
lady.
later on.
They later on found the lady with the 5-year-old with a gun. That wasn't the same situation. That was the lady who
I
helped.
think the cops rolled up on the 5-year-old. Oh, that was
No, the lady that
helping.
was helping her with the murder, then she fled. She fled because the shit got crazy because she shot somebody. But they ended up later on finding her with the 5-year-old with a shotgun.
And it was another off the grid person.
It was the same person.
Oh,
They're
it was
the same
the shooter.
community.
No,
No,
it was a
it was two
shooter and had
people.
another off the grid person with her.
Yes. Okay.
To
Cool.
do the whole thing. The whole setup was, hey, I'm gonna act like I'm a hitchhiker by myself, my car fucked up, but we gonna both kidnap them or whatever. I'm guessing. They
Yeah.
probably know he had a gun on him. So then he pulled the gun out when he shot them. He shot her twice. She just shot him once in the back, and that was a deadly shot.
Fuck.
So he died. So yeah. So the other girl who was with the girl who shot her ran away once the whole shit was going crazy. Cops ended up finding her with the 5-year-old who had a shotgun.
Oh my god.
So basically, they was raising up the other little off the grid shooter who was supposed to be in kindergarten, but instead he finding out how to blow motherfuckers' heads off.
Yeah, next to the in the off the grid community. I mean,
In the
this has
whole-
to be like a full on like
Situation.
Moses Storm style cult.
Nigga, you ever seen the episode of Fresh Prince when Will Smith was in the he was in witness protection because he had
Oh.
witnessed the murder?
Yeah, I remember this.
Yeah,
one.
yeah. And that's how I feel like the off the grid community feels. Like it's like you're like, oh, okay. Everybody here feels a little bit like they're real free, but also with guns and each other.
Yeah.
And they were cousins. Now they're wives and husbands
Yeah.
on the off the grid shit. You know that's how it's going down.
So you think they're gonna come out from the woods and try to take over? I mean, feels like that was like the first attempt, and like they didn't do a very good
That
job.
was horrible.
What if everybody in the off the grid community once was a kidnapped hitchhiker? What if it's like a Neverland situation?
Now we talking all free, and we can talk all free because we know off the grid people don't listen to podcasts. But what if they only listen to podcasts and they only listen to wine
There's
and
a
weed?
whole wine and weed cult
And they're
out
listening, and
there.
they're like, "Hey, you know what? We listen to much, we listen to this shit, and we know now y'all know about us, and we gonna kill y'all." Chris, I need you to give me a heads up if you hear anything about off the gridders doing some off the grid shit.
I would give a heads up.
Would you? If you heard about it being race related, what if it was just like a specific like community that you didn't care that much about? Would you like still give them a heads up of like, "Hey, y'all"?
How would I know? You think there's like an email system where it's like,
Like
what?
no, you heard a off the grid that you didn't know was really off the grid, and they was talking about some shit. You was like, I don't think I'm supposed to hear this, but you got some information. You're privy to some information that you was like, man, I should alert the. He's spilling wine. I should alert the. I don't know. I'm trying to think of somebody very specific, like to play a sport or something. Something that you just like, I have nothing to do with this.
Polynesian football players. they're
Yeah,
coming
specifically,
for
just
you.
those ones. Yeah. Would
And,
you
like,
try to get through to them? Or
If
would
I
you?
somehow found myself in some situation where I'm like in the room where like these off the grid whites are like, let's take down all the Polynesian football players.
Yeah.
And I had to go figure out how to tell. I would probably come to you. I feel like
The fuck I'm gonna do?
there's some, I don't know, you Terrell Owens, he hits up the NFL. They go, Polynesian football players, high alert.
What if we did it
And we can stop
and then we
them.
found out they was talking about soccer? And we got to all the Polynesian football players, but it did nothing because they was talking about Polynesian soccer players,
Holy shit.
and they all died.
Damn.
And it was too late.
And it was like
It'd be the effort,
team.
though, right? People would be like, podcast duo tries to rescue. Tries to rescue very niche community.
Comma fails.
That'd be way low, way low.
There are some YouTubers that are off the gridders that people really
Can
like.
you YouTube and be off the grid?
Yeah.
That feels fake, man. It feels like you're faking off the
You know, I
grid.
didn't think about that, but you're probably right.
Yeah, that feels
But
like-
they. What I'm saying is they're like self-sustaining. But you're right. How do they upload their
That's some
videos?
Bear Grylls shit. It's like, yeah, we're out here doing this thing. We can't survive, but the helicopter's dropping you off and picking you up. You're like, you're not really doing that shit.
There is like an off the grid couple that they're like, we went off the grid and now we make all of our living. This whole entire place functions just off of our money we make from YouTube.
You ever watch the motherfuckers that be on there
It's a
cooking?
lot of money.
Yeah. You
YouTube people make a lot
They
of money.
do. You ever watch the
Yeah.
motherfuckers that be cooking and he always in the middle of nowhere, either in the woods or in next to an igloo or some shit. And he cook with just him and his dog. And he make you feel like I ain't got nothing but me and my dog and some food to cook. How much he getting paid? Because he make us think he's living off nothing.
And he's big.
He's cooking like a motherfucker.
I've never seen this guy.
You never seen this dude? He be
I think
wearing a
we need to
mask.
investigate
He be
off the
wearing a
grid
mask. He like the
YouTubers.
marshmallow of chefs. Nigga just be rocking a mask for no reason.
This is your Andrew Tate. This guy's all over you. This guy's all over
Ain't no
your
bullshit.
algorithm.
This dude has made it so much of my
And
fucking
you think
algorithm.
he's huge.
Andrew Tate, he got $20 million. I guess it's a little money. The dude that's cooking shit with his dog, he ain't got $20 million for sure. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I do.
All right, thanks, baby. I don't know if you mean that, but
No,
I
I
love
do.
you anyway.
He like cooks on tree stumps and stuff.
All kind of shit that make you feel like
Sounds dope.
Dennis Rodman says he got permission to visit Russia to seek release of Brittney Griner. Dennis Rodman plans on visiting Russia to aid the release of WNBA star Brittney Griner, who was sentenced to 9 years in prison on drug charges earlier this month. In an interview with NBC News, the NBA Hall of Famer revealed he got permission to travel to Russia sometime this week. I got permission to go to Russia to help that girl, Rodman told NBC while at an event in the Washington, D.C. area. I'm trying to go this week. Back in March, Greiner was detained by the Russian Federal Customs Service after they found vape cartridges containing hashish oil in her luggage at the international airport near Moscow. Greiner was found guilty by a Russian court in August of charges including drug smuggling and possession. She was subsequently sentenced to 9 years in prison. Her legal team has since appealed her conviction.
yeah, this is off to a really bad start for Rodman having a quote saying, yeah, they let me go into Russia to get that girl. First of all, you didn't call her by her name, which is Brittney Griner. Second of all, like, why are we sending Dennis Rodman? Who the fuck gave him the green light? Was this a Biden like sign off? Was this like Kamala Harris being like, oh, we gotta sign off, let Dennis go over there and do his thing, and you know, with his mouthpiece and get Brittney Griner on home? Or is Dennis Rodman just making up bullshit in the media and it's some real
Or
Dennis
like,
Rodman
it
shit?
sounds kind of real. He knew Kim Jong-un.
That's what everyone said. Alahna even said it to me. She was like, he did know Kim Jong-un. I was like, yeah, but they're both like kind of, you know, more in the same pocket of like, oh, than him going over and handling business and talking to Putin.
It
And
is like on Dennis Rodman's brand, though. It's
what brand?
It's,
What?
it's
He has
basketball,
become America's liaison to
basketball dictators.
world
Dennis
leaders.
Rodman.
Do
He'll
we know
be
that
there.
Dennis Rodman knows Putin?
No, but it would be kind of weird if Dennis Rodman started like kind of knowing all the dictators.
We don't want him speaking for us in any capacity. I will start with that. As much as I love Dennis Rodman, as much as I would let him be on this show for sure, I don't want him being our representation. For Brittney Griner, if that's our person that we are sending to get her out, sorry, Brittany, you got 9 years to do, because I doubt Dennis Rodman is some attorney at law that we don't know about.
I actually believe in him.
Why do you
I
believe
feel
in
like
Dennis
he
Rodman?
has a way with world leaders.
What way with one? With one?
He- he was cool with
Psychopath
Donald
world
Trump.
leaders.
And did you hear how he became cool? He knew Donald Trump from them doing cocaine in
Yeah,
Vegas
they went.
and fucking
That's who
bitches.
he went to visit Kim with. Was Donald Trump in 2018.
But do
Wait,
you,
is that real?
do you
Yeah.
know how
was
he
with Trump?
Do you know
Yeah.
how he met Kim Jong Un?
He was a fan, right?
Kim Jong Un was a fan of Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant declined, and then
He was second pick.
he was like the third pick.
Oh man.
He was the only person that would go over there. Kim Jong Un just like basketball. He's a big fan of basketball.
And I think he was a huge fan of Michael Jordan.
Yeah, he liked a lot of people more than Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman was the only crazy person who was like, I'll go over there and fuck with him. But yeah, I don't think we should be sending him to get Brittney Griner out of prison.
What happens if he does get her out?
Oh, hell, Dennis Rodman. I'm pretty sure we'll give him a cabinet position. I don't know.
That would be awesome.
No, it would not.
If he did it. If he pull, I mean, then it would just be like Wild Wild West. It would just be like, all right, let the crazy people run the world. They're the only ones who can talk to the crazy people.
Yeah, but then we'd be accepting. I was talking to my mom about this, and
That's crazy.
the old like how people, their perspective on things are like, that person isn't presidential like. That person isn't. I was like, what does that even mean? Like, what being a president used to mean back in the day was so perfect. Being so perfect. Now, did you just hear yourself? You're like, the only people who can talk to the crazies, who are other leaders, are the crazies. Not saying that leaders were not crazy to begin with, because they were. But they had to at least appear to be normal. And they had to appear to be like this prestigious thing. Now we're getting into a time where we are kind of picking leaders based on crazy.
And based on like much of a spectacle you are.
We're like, what do you got?
Yeah.
What you got for me?
Yeah, like I don't care if these two people can like have a good conversation with each other. Like, I'd like to imagine that scene, huh? Yeah. Seeing Kim Jong Un and Trump in the same room. They must be two crazies. They got along.
Yeah.
Probably only makes crazy people more ambitious, and that's why I don't know if you've seen any local election debates, but the crazy people on a low level are feeling very empowered too. And people like Andrew Tate who can just make up that they're bigger than they are, because that's what Donald Trump did. And maybe that's what a lot of people have done forever.
Yeah.
But now everybody knows that secret. You can just say you're this, and without actually being it, you might be able to become it.
Ex-judges who got kickbacks for sending kids to for-profit jails ordered to pay $200 million. 2 former judges have been ordered to pay more than $200 million in damages in connection with a scandal of epic proportions involving sending children to for-profit jail facilities. As U.S. District Judge Christopher Connor wrote in court documents this week, former Pennsylvania judges Mark Cavariella and Michael Conan orchestrated the closing of juvenile facilities in 2002 in an effort to make way for new detention centers, the construction of which would see them both amassing financial benefits. In fact, the 2 convicted felons were previously said to have received $2.8 million over several years from a commercial builder and an attorney involved with the centers in question. As the AP noted in their report on the damages decision of this week, the larger stories surrounding the 2 men ultimately came to widely referred to as the Kids for Cash scandal. Plaintiffs are the tragic human casualties of a scandal of epic proportion, Judge Connor said of the legal action hundreds of victims had taken in response to what Cavarella and Conan did, adding that the law is powerless when it comes to giving back lost time, although this awarding of damages will hopefully bring a measure of closure. After the Kids for Cash plot was made public, state courts tossed out thousands of juvenile convictions. In a statement shared Wednesday, a rep for the Juvenile Law Center, a nonprofit based in Pennsylvania, noted the lifelong ramifications of the 2 former judges' despicable plan of robbing victims of key childhood years. We applaud the court for listening and finally doing justice. All told, Cavarella and Conan have now been ordered to pay compensation damages of more than $106 million and punitive damages of $100 million. However, it's currently believed to be unlikely that victims will receive much of this amount.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so what does that even mean? Like,
yeah.
Why even is it just to be like, yeah, we stuck it to them? Stuck it to who? Nobody getting this money. So what does this mean?
And
you're just smacking them on the wrist and
the
giving them
judges
an
are
article?
just sued. They don't go to jail.
Ex-judges, they just at home. They just at home being ridiculed. But they chilling.
Okay, print that you're suing me.
What you gonna do is take away my actual license. What the fuck is it? Whatever.
Right.
Take away my
judge license. Whatever that is.
You were high. Fuck you. But yeah, you gonna take away my license or whatever it is. I'm already an ex-judge. We're already ex-judges. You're waiting to do this until they already retired. These motherfuckers
And now
do
it's
this
a
type of shit all the time. And they set each other up when they know some bad stuff is going to go down. And they're like, well, we already fucking made it for you not to actually have to do time. Real time. Time served. That was, yeah, you're retired now. Oh, well, kick your feet up still. We'll make you pay $200 million, in which we know you don't have. These people already suffered.
So you think like the house that they bought with that $2.8 million that they're like living in right now, they don't have to like foreclose to pay it off?
They would have said something like that.
I don't know. That's kind of what I wonder.
I feel like they would have threw that in there. They would have at least said that to us.
Like,
Like,
is
hey.
this guy's life ruined and he needs to like start over? I mean, I don't think so. I think he's like, come on, guys. It was the 90s.
You're really going to write my name?
That was 25 years ago. Come on.
What happened to just keeping it as two judges?
Look, we got $1.5 million. There were a lot of bad kids. We were convinced. Okay, look, just say you're suing me for $200 million. I won't be able to pay it, but it'll be a good principle. I don't know. You might be right.
That's all that's going
how else
on.
could they get that $2 million? I mean, they just made $2.8 million as judges.
They just, in the article saying, even though most of these damages will not be paid out to the actual victims, they ain't paying shit out.
Yeah, that's lame.
But is that lame or is that how all this shit is? It's all lame though, I'm with you.
It's how all that shit is. But also it's like, it makes sense if you just like think of that little community and they're like, oh no, the judge messed up. Well, here's a way out of it. We just say, because if he really made $200 million, and now I think they're suing him for $200 million out of principle. He didn't make $200 million. If this judge is worth $200 million,
No, they're making like 2.8 million a year.
yeah, so
That's a lot of money
That's still
still.
a shit ton of money, but like, that they're not worth that much
And
money,
they
so
judges-
it's unrealistic.
If you make 2.8 million as a judge, you're a judge. You can invest in a whole bunch of good shit. And on top of that, like, you can make niggas' lives really like hell if they don't fuck with you on business. It's illegal.
If we find out tomorrow that that totally bankrupts them and ruins their lives, like, are we just wrong?
Yeah, we kind of
just
wrong.
cut
We
this.
kind of wrong, but like they still ain't getting nobody getting paid out.
Yeah, I mean,
People ain't actually affected by this.
yeah. I hope you get some sense of like, yeah, I fucking told, yeah, you should be able to apply for like, I was one of those kids and get money back
And?
from the people that made money on
And?
it, from that real estate agent, from the people who put the bribe in,
And
because those people have money.
yeah, everybody got money. Give me your money. That's when you just tell motherfuckers, give me your money. Give me your money. Guap had a shirt that he just put out says steal money from white people. If you saw a person had a shirt on that said steal money from white people, how would you feel? Shout out to Guap Dad. Would you?
I feel like it was probably like an art statement. It feels, I mean,
Oh, word. So if you saw somebody that had it on, they was like, it's not an art statement. I mean that
if
shit.
it was just a guy who was like, that's what I do for a living. These are our uniforms. That's what we do.
Who is
I'll
we?
probably- like, I imagine just like kind of like they're just pickpockets and like
Oh, he's just
their,
like, oh.
their uniforms are just
Yeah,
steal money from white people. I'd probably stay away.
that's fair.
2-year-old kills snake by biting back after it bit her lip. A 2-year-old bit a snake to death in Turkey last week after she was struck first. The toddler was in her backyard on August 10th when neighbors heard her screaming. They found the child with a 20-inch snake clenched between her teeth. After a bite mark was found on the girl's lip, she was rushed to a nearby hospital for a treatment and observation. Our neighbors have told me that the snake was in the hand of my child. She was playing with it and then it bit her, said Miha Irkran, the toddler's father. Then she has bitten the snake back as a reaction. The father was away at work when the incident occurred. The type of the snake is currently unknown, but as of this writing, the toddler appears to be doing well. There was some concern since 12 of the 45 species found in Turkey are considered venomous.
Well, she obviously lived. That's crazy for her reaction to be like, you bite me, I'll fucking bite you. And to kill it? How crazy did she bite that snake? And she bit that snake and she didn't think it was disgusting for her to keep biting through. And that's a 20-inch snake. That's not that's not like the smallest
It's a big
snake.
snake.
That's a decent sized snake.
This is an origin story It's a weird origin
Who
story.
do you think she's gonna be, and what will she protect us from? What will she protect us from? What kind of superhero will she be, or will she be a villain?
Damn.
You
I thought
fucking
she was
kill
a
a
hero.
snake.
I thought she was a dark hero.
You kill a snake though with your teeth, just your mouth. You might be a fucking villain. You might have no way around this.
It might be like, and then like,
What was that? Why would you do that on the podcast?
Too.
For people just listening, yeah, that was that man Chris going crazy.
That's kind of like her thing now. She's like, and she like sticks her tongue out all weird, and she's like, I bit a snake when I was 2.
Yeah.
Or I guess she doesn't really have a Batman voice because she's a woman.
But that's it. That's like, what does she actually do?
I mean, in reality, I think she might just be kind of weird and like in the punk rock scene and just
really?
like, yeah.
She doesn't actually ask for much trouble. Like she stays there herself.
Yeah, she's just kind of like she like
Emo?
dyes her bangs.
Okay.
Yeah. Or I mean that's a tattoo I'd be willing to give a child if she was like, I want to get the snake tattooed on me. Like I think she deserves a tattoo
As
like
a 2-year-old right now?
I'm gonna wait till 4.
Okay, 4 feels fair.
Yeah, but once she's 4, like, and I would let her raise herself as the kid with the snake tattoo.
You don't have any tattoos?
No, I'm gonna get a bunch though
Do you have any?
by next season. No, I have none.
I'm about to get my first one.
You're about to get a tattoo?
I think
You're
I'm
gonna get a TikTok right before me, you're gonna get a tattoo right before me. It's gonna look like I'm copying you.
Man, bro, I'm just out here living my life, man.
What are you gonna get?
I don't know yet. I mean, I got a whole bunch of ideas, but I'm gonna get some small, cool shit. Like, so I'm gonna fuck around with some little small shits.
Ooh, smaller ones?
Yeah, some cooler small shits.
I'm gonna do my whole neck. I'm just gonna start turtleneck.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
What you gonna do? A poem, a long poem,
Yeah.
and do it all the way around your neck. That'd be cool.
It's like a Dr. Seuss.
Dr. Seuss. Do you fuck with Dr. Seuss? They end up taking away a lot of his books for like racist shit, right? What's gonna happen
Yeah,
with
but
history?
it was-
Will history just forever, as we continue to move forward, continue that we'll try to correct history by looking back on it and being like, correct that shit. That person was wrong for these 4 things, so we have to pull. Because what?
You have to pull it? You have to pull it completely?
Didn't HBO Max pull like over 30 titles? Some were Sesame Street, some were some other things based on, different, How did you feel about Sesame Street being like,
Like pulling some shit that they think was inappropriate. I don't know. There's like a new in Moana, or in Lilo and Stitch, she hides in a dryer, and on Disney Plus today, it's not a dryer, it's a cabinet because it's dangerous to hide in a dryer. So,
Yeah.
And to me, that principle makes complete sense. And I think if that's cross-applied to a bunch of things, that was actually, turns out not really something we want to like say now, even though we used to say it. Or we didn't even think about it, but it was kind of racist.
Yeah, so can you
Or
be
it kind
kind
of
of
encourage kids to climb into dryers.
racist and not mean it? And we got like, how do you feel about that? Like, do you give the room for people to be accidentally racist in a moment and we move on? Or do you think we're in a time where if you're racist, there's zero tolerance and you gotta go?
I think if in the past, like when it comes to people in the past in context, like I think society affects everybody in a very real way. So like you can't judge a past standard by the current standard, but you can also go, no, that was racist even for them. And then you can judge them.
Because there's like a whole bunch of like old school Walt Disney shit that's like racist.
That shit was racist.
Yeah, racist, and they had to pull that shit, right? But is Walt Disney bad? Or is it
I don't
just
think
like...
they pulled it. I think they just have that
No, they
warning
got rid of some of this
in
shit.
the beginning.
No, they do have warning some of them. Some of them they had to get rid of. Some had to pull full things because it was like, all right, it's too much in here, fam.
What if there's just one writer in the writer's room who's like, or we can do my racist idea? And they're like, Larry keeps pitching that racist idea. I mean,
I don't think he even thought it was racist at the
I
time.
don't really think they thought that either.
It was like, this is life.
Right, or like the crows in Dumbo. Like that, they're like, oh, we don't like this. This feels racist now. But back in the day, they were like, and then the crows are just kind of like a bunch of black guys. And they're what we think of as black guys because we don't know any black guys. And then it became this caricature of shit. Like, but was it what was the racism? Was it racism like of the times? Or was it like
In the Dr. Seuss ones?
like fucking Birth of a Nation, where it's like, oh, this is teaching people to be racist?
You saying in Dr. Seuss ones, or you saying?
Oh,
Disney?
I was saying in Disney. I was talking
Disney,
about
the
the
Crows
and
and
Dumbo.
Dumbo.
Dr. Seuss is like
Crows and Dumbo was like Sambo ass shit, wasn't it? Like some dancing, jigaboo ass shit, wasn't it? I don't remember. Then they do a whole bunch of like a hat in the hand and feathers out and shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, a whole bunch of your waist, son. Whole bunch of slave shit, right?
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
and they were
And them
like,
crows
this is
is
a
black.
reference to the way things are in the South.
And the Crows was black.
You know what I
that's
mean?
all they were saying. This is a reference, or they was like, we need to let the
and they
kids
just had
know.
racism baked into them.
Because kids have to know about niggas too. Like
There's definitely some people who are like,
they couldn't just be like, we're just giving it to the adults. They were like, we gotta teach them young. You know, ain't no point of you teaching your kids about to how to say racist shit at home and then not having animations to back it up. You know what I'm saying? Like you wouldn't like if I'm saying racist shit at the crib all day, I'm gonna need some kind of media content that supports this.
I mean, that's interesting. I wonder if there's just like directly racist.
It is, but
There's got to be directly racist cartoons out there somewhere.
what the fuck?
I mean, wait, no, there's a ton.
There's a whole bunch.
There's
They
a ton.
pulled a whole bunch off Disney Plus and shit, which it was even crazy to
No,
me.
but then there's even more. Just
Yeah,
like
oh no, there's some that special.
I spent hours and hours
There's-
animating this
there's
so
some that
that my
specialize.
kids would learn racism.
There's some that specialize in racism. They're like, we're the fucking Schoolhouse Rock of fucking racism. We're teaching you about this shit right here.
And then some of them were like, we're just making cartoons in a racist world.
Yeah, and some
That-
were like,
that's what
yo,
I'm-
we don't think this is racist. We just showing how black people are really treated today.
And with I think I don't know that much about Dr. Seuss, but I think a lot of it to me stems
Seuss
from
was a
like
Nazi, right?
Asian people.
Yeah, it was the illustrations. It
It's-
was an Asian person that was illustrated with like slits for their eyes, like lines for their eyes, and then he was holding chopsticks. And then the black people, they were depicted like as Africans with grass skirts.
So
and then,
how
like,
much can
monkeys.
you
To
wipe
me-
away of Dr. Seuss's
Well,
like
but to me, if for Dr. Seuss
He was
living
like
in what, like
$6
the
bucks.
50s or whatever, like that's a foreign land to him. You know what I mean? He
Yeah.
doesn't really know. Nothing's like globalized. He's like, yeah, and then I'm gonna like include Asian people, and they're gonna have chopsticks and look like this. And so yeah, it was racist
So you're
with
saying
the
because
knowledge
he
we
had
know
not-
now.
You're saying because he hadn't actually seen Asian people up close in person, that he could only draw off what he felt like it was?
I think that he was
You don't
just
think he
like
saw
sitting
no
there-
Asian people?
I
I think he saw
them, but
Asian people was like, I got it. Oh, I've got it from here, guys. Slant eyes, and he got racist with it, did he? Like he made decisions with illustrations, didn't he? I'm not saying that other people
I gotta
were not
get myself
also
in
being
trouble.
racist at the time.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that he
that,
wasn't
like,
fitting into a
there's
culture.
a little bit of like I don't even know who that is, so they look like this to me. You know what I mean? Like that. There's a little bit of that going on, and in today's world,
So you think-
have to know what that is, and you have to know the history of them, and you have to know the history of how they. You have to know everything about everybody, and you have to be very sensitive to everything about everybody.
So you're saying
and that just wasn't the world back
the
then.
foreignness to it is like, oh,
It's making it up. It's
you
about
can make it up. It's like
I don't want to.
saying a sketch.
I don't want to imitate
telling
it.
a
in
sketch
bit.
as a black person and like describe him, and you just like, but
There's like, oh, and I hear in Africa they have grass skirts and they have blah blah blah. Oh, that sounds great. That's a page. Like I think that's what it was.
yeah,
like.
but that was still like white history.
it was just like that
was
was
like
fun.
text-
You're making up stuff.
No, but that was still like textbooks and what white people had written for themselves to say.
That's true. So,
So-
he was just like, that is how it is there.
You think I don't know what year was the year of textbooks, but part of me is like, well, how much of it was like, oh,
I just don't think it was as much of a value in art to like.
I don't think he was
be
being malicious.
sensitive to
If that's what
everything.
also, if that's what you're saying, I don't think he was being malicious, right? Yeah, there was just Kanye making an argument this week because people said that he was being insensitive about having his actual clothes displayed in Gap right now in trash bags.
I saw that.
And people were saying he's being insensitive. He had a response saying, "This is just art. You're overthinking it too much of this." why is this about me? Why is this, if you really feel like this is insensitive to homeless people, why are we not putting more pressure on the government then to do something about homelessness? It's not Kanye's job to do something about homelessness. That's just a trash bag. Trash bags can be for anything as well. But I thought that was interesting. And I was just like, in such a sensitive time, we have to defend ourselves through everything, through art and through different things. And Dr. Seuss, even though I don't necessarily, of course, agree with every single depiction from everything in the past, I do understand at times that it sucks that every person now, as we go forward, if we keep this same exact ideology right now, everyone will continue. We'll just keep evolving, and as we go on, we'll continue to apologize for everything.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, I don't
know.
Is there a world where you go back and you're like, I don't know, Dave Chappelle's whiteface was like offense, like him being like, hey, and just acting like a white person in his character.
Maybe for
where
sure.
Like that actually wasn't okay.
If equality ever comes.
But I think in Dr. Seuss's mind, he was kind of like doing that. Like, this is how they act to me. But in that world, that wasn't a racist thing to do. It was like, look at my Chinese accent. Yeah. And like, they didn't know that was a hurtful thing.
96-year-old Brooklyn landlord can't evict tenant who hasn't paid rent in almost 3 years. For months, CBS2 has been reporting on landlords of smaller properties, mom and pop landlords who say their tenants have not paid rent in years. The problem was exacerbated by the pandemic. Natalie Duridge spoke with an elderly landlord who still can't evict even though the eviction was lifted months ago. It's disrupting my family and everything else. It's a nightmare. We first interviewed Pisano early in 2021. The 96-year-old landlord said his tenant had not paid rent since September 2019. I've spent $130,000. I cannot afford to keep this man on my property, he said. 80% of his retirement income comes from the 2-bedroom condo on Benson Ave in Brooklyn he bought in 1984. I don't want him there no matter what. I want him out, he said. He filed to evict the tenant in 2019. A court date was set for April 2020, but COVID hit and an eviction moratorium took effect.
Yeah, for 2 years, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a big moratorium in New York and in LA. And so for a lot of people, if your employment had to do with COVID, you didn't have to pay rent. You could get by with having more people that weren't on the lease. You basically it was
whole bunch of loopholes, whole bunch
renters,
of shit,
renters life free. If you wanted to go I'm not going to pay rent, you could have done that and you could just squat. Yeah. And now I think those moratoriums are starting to be up, or at least starting to be discussed. Yeah. Then they're going up. And I know a lot of people have taken advantage of those things because they absolutely needed them. And I think a lot of people are all of a sudden their landlords are well, let's pay back. Let's pay back the back taxes. And I think that seems kind of tough. I think any landlord who's don't worry about those months when you couldn't pay because now you can pay again. I think that's what the system was for. But I think there's definitely a lot of people like this dude. I don't pay rent no more.
I think this dude is hoping to kill this man. This man is 96 years old. If you are worrying him every day with this shit where you're not paying rent for 3 years, every day he waking up stressed because you just not paying your shit. He 96. He's going to die one day. Maybe he doesn't get to pass on the actual worries. And after he dies, they really can stay in the building as long as they want or some bullshit. I don't know. But I think to be bothering a 96-year-old with this every day is some shit. You're a horrible person. You're evil. I wonder how old the person is not paying rent.
But then again, this guy does have a apartment in Brooklyn that he got in the 80s when it was super cheap. And now rent in Brooklyn is way up there. So this person I can make more money for what? For your
No, this person's been there for 3 years. It's been expensive the whole time they were there.
Yeah, that's true. They owe $130,000 technically in back rent.
Is it that?
I think so.
$130,000? That's crazy, fam. You hitting a lick.
Yeah, if you just got away scot-free with $130,000.
Because what if you still got paid? What if you're I'm still working from home. I'm doing everything I was doing. I'm making the same amount of money, maybe even a little more. And you're just but I ain't got to pay rent because I ain't got to pay rent. Moratorium. Yeah.
I'm just going to move when the moratorium's up.
That's wild. That's a wild thought that people are out here doing. which people are definitely out here doing. I know for sure.
Wow. Well, I hope that works out for those people.
I don't think it will.
I
think he'll die.
also heard of people who are essentially huge landlords who are screwing people over in a completely different way by like kicking a bunch of people out and overturning them. A lot of people are taking advantage of it on each side.
Do you have a question?
I don't have a question.
I thought we just kind of went over a question, or we had a question. I want a real life question. Some stuff that's going to make us better. Do you think you have to change your actual social media before applying for a job, or do you think you should be able to be who you are? And a job should have to take you as you are?
I think you should just mute your social medias to be safe and not let them judge you at all.
But like,
until you get the job.
Do you think jobs have, quote unquote, technically the right to judge you, or should you be able to be who you are? Like, let's say hypothetically, a nigga from Compton, and I'm applying for a job. Do I have to dress like I'm a nigga from Bel Air?
I think you could play different roles in different places as long as you're good for the job. But at the same time, sometimes you may not, like, if you have like a bunch of you with your girlies getting drunk online and you want to apply for this position, you may, just because we just, as a human condition, we wind up judging each other, and maybe you can avoid being judged by muting. And then maybe when you have the job, you can unmute it and show people who you truly are now that you're hired. But don't let it affect your process.
So you think you can unmute and show them? What if then you start feeling different energy at work from unmuting? All because you showed off your cock ring on your socials, and people were like, dude.
You're like, I should have never showed off my social media to everyone.
No, he was like, take me as I am. You know? Take me as I am. That's how I feel. No?
Oh, you wouldn't. Well, how would they start treating you differently? Would they start treating you differently?
Like the dude who had a cock ring on socials.
But is that like, hey, dude?
Yeah. Like standoffish a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely affects things. But I'm sure you'd instantly get to know a few people a lot better very quickly.
How do they start treating you differently? Imagine you're like, hey, in my office, Chris, what you did online was remarkable. What you didn't know, we're here and ready to promote you at the office.
I think for most people, they kind of feel like you're like a little bit of a deviant. There'd be one guy who's kind of like, hey, man, I'm interested in the world you live in. And then I feel like you'd be in the break room, and there'd be kind of like a bigger girl, but with like piercings, who's like, this is very specific. I do what you like. So you're in the community.
Yeah, for sure.
And you'd be like, I mean, you probably would be if you were posting cock rings on your social, but I think that's how the next day at work would go. That is interesting to think about. If you were muted to everyone and one day went public, how would people start treating you differently? I think you'd have to have a pretty extreme Instagram in one way or another.
Yeah.
In order for that to really affect people. I mean, I don't know. I guess you could be really into anything that would be surprising to me. If I only knew you personally, and then you were like, just went public on Instagram.
What if you were doing like
and you were like a big
shit?
Fishing guy? I would be like, this guy's personality
fishing feels normal still. You'd be like, I'm surprised, but that's still normal. What if you were doing like some dark shit? Like you had at least like you did Ouija Mondays and you did Ouija boards.
Oh, you're like a Wicca guy?
Yeah, like is that a person?
Yeah, like some like you do seances.
Yeah, you do seances and shit.
Like witchy.
Yeah, but you're still cool at work.
Yeah, I mean, I would be like, that's your thing. That's your thing. However you gotta explore yourself. That's how I feel. But when people make a brand out of anything, I suddenly don't like it as much.
Is there a person who is the most popular witch right now?
There's witch.
There has to be a
communities
witch
for
community,
sure.
right? And a person who's like really popping with witchcraft.
There's got to be. There's definitely people having like women's midnight moon seance.
It's called Wicca.
Wicca is like a witch religion.
Are there like misunderstood witches? Are there like witches who are like, this is a book club for witches? We're misunderstood. People think witches don't do regular things. We do regular things.
I think, yeah.
There are witches who play basketball on Wednesdays at the YMCA.
Are you talking about witches like fly on a broom witches? Like,
Well,
what,
yeah, I don't
what
know.
makes
That's not
a real witch
That's
to
not
you?
a modern day witch anymore. I feel like witches nowadays, they probably have like Priuses or something. I don't know. They fly brooms.
Okay, but do they have to have powers in order to be a true
They
witch
practice
to you?
witchcraft, which
Okay.
means they know spells.
Which is basically just like heightened astrology.
I
Let's be
disagree
honest.
with you. I think witchcraft is a real thing you can practice, and it's a real thing you can like.
This
be.
sounds like Christian anti-witch propaganda.
It might be, but I also believe it.
You think that there are people who are like chanting tonight and they're like, let the dark energy take over the world.
No, I don't
Let
think
the
that's how
dark
they're doing
energy
it.
take over the
See,
world.
so you playing games, Chris. I don't think they're doing it like that. I don't think it's like that old school. I think it's more modernized. It's like, do you guys want to get together and like do some spells?
It's not a cauldron. It's an air fryer.
Yeah, I think it's like more chill. I think it's also like everyday witching. That should be a name of like that should be a name of a page. Everyday witching, and it's just like somebody that shows you like how to be a witch in everyday normal fucking life, and they do spells at the farmers market. At the farmers market, they're like, "Yo, here's a spell I use at the farmers market for different things." Like when you in a some bullshit like that, or it's like, "Yo, I use this spell when I want to pause a movie." When I'm late for a movie at the movie theaters, as I'm going to see a movie, I don't want to miss the trailers. I pause the movie with.
So they have magic.
They're a witch, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, not every witch.
You think there are witches who are
sometimes
just
women-
who are
sometimes-
just like I'm just witch-like. I'm just witchish.
Like they like the same.
Witchish?
Like they're like it's like a religion. Like they're like
were
Christian.
you say like Christian?
Yeah, they're
Christians
like
don't
Christian. It's not like you have
How the fuck would they
powers.
be like Christian? Yeah, I'm not.
But
Christians
they're-
don't ever say they have
But they're
powers.
like, I did a spell on myself this morning and I got through that.
No, that's so.
They're
you're
like they're into
disrespectful.
like crystals.
You're making it very.
It's the moon tonight. We're gonna do a seance in a
that's
graveyard.
different.
That's
Yeah,
not real.
that's just
what
the
you're
LA
saying is that
girl.
that's real witches.
That's
okay.
just an LA girl.
I was just
That's on
clarifying.
Wednesday. That's just
You think
talking
it
to a chick.
involves magic, which
I think I need real magic involved to feel like you're a real witch. It's like calling yourself a real magician and nigga, I'm not impressed. I'm easily impressed, first of all. Second of all, just do a trick. Do one trick. If you're a witch and you want to tell me you're a witch, hit me with one spell in front of me. Do some shit to razzle dazzle, just fuck with me. So I can be like, oh, that bitch a real witch. I don't need you just to paint your fucking nail polish black and to make faces at me. I'm like, Sabrina, calm down. I don't know what's really happening over there versus you just pausing some shit for 2 seconds.
What are you-
Versus you just knocking some shit off my fucking my mantle, and I'm like, damn, that was some real witch shit. Even though I wouldn't waste my powers on something as simple as that, I still get to see you're a real witch.
Well, how do you feel about slipping people potions?
Slipping them potions?
Is that ethical? Like, can you,
Are witches ethical? I think there are good witches, huh?
if there is a woman who put spells on like little mixers and then slipped them into people's drink, no alcohol
little
content, no
mixers.
drugs, but there's spelled water. It's like holy water, but for witches.
But what is the spell doing to you?
I don't know, maybe a love potion, maybe on a
Love
date.
potion. You fall in love. Someone falls
Maybe.
in love with you.
Well, they would drink it and they'd fall in love with you. It's like a way to seduce them. They like fast track.
Oh,
it's
it's
a
like-
Cosby drug.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's a Spanish fly. It's a Spanish fly, Chris. Just say this is Spanish
It
fly.
is, but there's not scientifically just in the witch world. Like that's unethical, right? But
So wait, witches are fucking regular people with these potions?
They would be.
I think witches.
I made it in my juicer.
Would you fuck a witch? Would you fuck with a witch chick if she was like, if her sex, you know how sex would be crazy.
Yeah, she could like fly and shit.
She'd probably pick your body up, make that shit levitate.
Let me get a broomstick involved.
What? That sounds horrible. that sounds wild.
Oh shit! Whoa! Wow.
Yeah, I was thinking more like mafia style. Like, you owe me some money, put a broom in your asshole, and you was thinking like what?
Oh, I was like picturing it like being seductive at first, and then you said whoa, and
yeah, because I'm like, why would you want a broomstick involved?
Yeah, and then I pictured like her getting wild with the broomstick.
So it's just her getting wild with the broomstick.
I don't know.
Why'd you bring the broomstick? Modern witches don't even bring a broomstick. If a bitch bring a broomstick, I don't even trust her as a witch. Like, you're not even a real witch. You faking the funk, baby. First of all, I feel like a real witch will pull up on me in a regular ass Hot Topic outfit. I feel like she's wearing like a real, like an old school fucking Wednesday shirt, Addams Family shirt. That's like, oh yeah, I used to watch this shit as a kid. I had the pinball machine at a local fucking arcade spot by my house. People used to call me Wednesday, whatever. But I'm cool. Real normal though, with real emo vibes, real like witchy. You know what I'm saying? That's what I like about her. Because I'm like, yo, you different, shorty. You real different. But I don't think the bitch pull up with a broom. I don't trust that bitch. You a narc, bitch. You a goddamn police officer.
Like too presented.
Yeah, you got a motherfucking...
But if she was like an emo chick and then she was like...
She got a wire in her broom, fam. She listening to everything you say in your house.
You don't trust that.
Can't trust that bitch.
I was going to say, like, if you showed up at a rich woman's house... And like everything was very witched out. Like she had a cauldron, but it was like classy. It was like, you know, it was like modern.
How rich?
Like, that's kind of like real rich.
Rich enough to ignore her witchy ways.
like to be like, wow, okay, this is an artistic choice. Like that feels like a cauldron, but like there's also like a practical reason
a person
for
like
that
this.
being
I know
there.
what you're talking about.
Oh, okay. And then are you like, are you like, she's a witch? Or are you like, nah, she just wants to be a witch? Like, do you believe that person's
I think she
a
pays
witch?
great money to be witch-like, and she definitely knows some spells. But I don't think, like, she's the same as any rich person with money. They get deep enough to make you feel stupid and like you don't know the world they're in. But they're not actually in the world either.
But meanwhile, this emo girl that you brought back who just wears... Hot Topic.
Not like, real Hot Topic. I don't think the real witch went Hot Topic. That was a joke. But she's like, I think she's a real witch.
I was a baby, I bit a snake and it died.
1,000% a witch. That girl will be a witch one day. For sure. People will look back at her and be like, oh, you always were a witch.
Yeah. I mean, you
were born a witch.
That's what the origin
We should make an animation show called Baby Witch.
Yeah.
It's not Baby Witch.
I feel like everything just came together. Somehow Andrew Tate shows up in the animation show.
It's Baby Witch, man. And it's obviously a show about a baby witch.
I like Baby Witch.
Yeah,
I think it's fun. It's simple.
It's fun, simple. It's straight to the point. The baby witch is doing a whole bunch of witch shit.
Is she like, get me my toys, and like it pops out, like the toy box open and it floats over one by one?
She gotta dictate the world. It's Sabrina style. Each episode, there's a new thing and there's a new obstacle that would be a baby obstacle, but which
so it's a little Rugrats.
A little Rugrats-ish.
Yeah.
But with witchcraft.
Rugrats, but meets Bewitched.
Did you watch Bewitched?
A little bit.
That was before you were even born like that.
Yeah, I was a Nick at Night guy.
You know, you have free cable, you broke bitch. Because I did too. And I used to watch shit. There was no... You ever watch TV shows that you have like you watch full episodes, but you never thought they were necessarily good? It was all you had. That's how old we are, Chris.
Seasons.
Yeah, because I Love Lucy. I watched episodes for sure. I thought it was whatever. I thought Ricky Ricardo was a little abusive.
I thought it was good, but I thought it was old school.
Yeah, Yeah, it was super old school. But I also was like, you know what? I always filmed TV. Turn that shit the fuck off. Was when MASH came
MASH.
on.
I was about to say MASH.
Turn that shit the fuck off, man. I'm too old. I'm too young for this shit.
Yeah,
I'm going to sleep.
This is boring.
Yeah,
as
what
fuck.
the fuck is this? These niggas at war? Why don't I want to watch these niggas be at war and be bored?
No.
Like, did you watch Gilligan's Island a little bit?
That one, I was like, this isn't that good.
Yeah, it wasn't that good, but I watched it a little bit. I'm trying to think of like,
I like what I feel like in that category of like this is mediocre was like Family Ties. It was fine, you know. Michael J. Fox is good.
oh, Family Ties.
It was
Shit.
like,
Did you watch
alright,
All
I'll
in the
watch it.
Family?
I liked All in the
He was
Family.
abusive.
I think All in the Family is good.
He was abusive and hilarious.
Archie Bunker.
Archie Bunker was
Absolutely.
wild.
He
Wild.
was abusive and racist.
Yeah,
and
he was all that
everything.
shit. Yeah. But
And-
he was also funny though.
Yeah.
He was also funny. Damn.
I thought
I watched Good Times.
Growing Pains
I watched
was a hit for me, even though I don't know if it was actually a
Jefferson's
hit.
Good Times. I watched 227. I watched all the old black. How did we get certain shows just in the black community that you didn't get? Like it's weird
I got
because
Jefferson's.
you did get Jefferson's. Okay,
But I don't know about
you didn't get 227 now.
no, and I had UPN, so
Did you watch Good Times?
no.
No, right? But UPN was called Underpaid Negroes. That was more in the 90s. You had Wayne and Brothers.
Yeah, that was
Jamie
like
Foxx.
current shows coming
Yeah,
out.
that was good shit though too.
Yeah.
It was like why
It
don't
was
we
good
have
after
that?
school.
We need more of that. Like Jamie Foxx and Wayne Brothers. Where are these? Like we need more stars. We need
there
more
was a
television.
lot.
There was a whole bunch. There was
Now it's all
101. There was
franchises.
Moesha. There was a lot of stuff being created at that time. At the present time, where it was really good black television and cinema. You know. There we are, Chris. You got to write some black TV, Chris. Go.
That's all I got.
Pitch me a black show right now. Go.
Okay, it's Rugrats meets Bewitched.
Okay, I'm into this.
It's the character is kind of a Gordo,
Okay.
like Lizzie McGuire.
Okay, I didn't watch Lizzie McGuire, but I'm here. Who's Gordo? Is that Shia LaBeouf?
No, it's just
That's
an
an Even Stevens.
Even Stevens, great show.
Lizzie McGuire had Hillary Duff, right?
Yeah,
I used to have a crush on Hillary Duff because she had a little ass on her.
I remember that.
Remember she had ass on her?
I watched a TikTok recently of like Beyonce's hits every year for the past like 30 years, and there was like a couple in the middle where I was like, "Oh, I remember masturbating to these videos." I was 13.
What the fuck? I
Because you
think
didn't have porn.
Do you know which video you masturbated to?
I think he had to. I think it was Bootylicious. is what I was
Bootylicious,
saying.
you went
I think
crazy
I was
that
like,
thing.
Damn.
With my body
I'm
too
14.
bootylicious for you, babe.
I don't want to. I don't have any computer
Did
time
you ever,
left.
so wait, you can say you masturbated to people. Is there anybody that you remember
You
masturbating
didn't do.
to?
You didn't like
I
jack
did.
off to music
I did.
videos?
Chill out.
Come on.
Let me. I'll get in my.
Van Latham's
I'll get in my
talking
space. I'll get in my space. Let me talk about
Jacking
this.
out to music videos.
Alana, you've been dead this whole episode. I know you don't jack off, but like, I did. I'm trying to think. Who was your most random jack off that you had? That you like, I was attracted to this person that I really liked, and this was not. That's a good question, right? Who was your most random jack off?
Like,
that's
there-
for everybody at home. Answer in the bottom two. Who your most random jack off or masturbation was? And only people who you don't actually know. Don't give me some weird, creepy answer about somebody in your town, or you. A random person that you could not meet, didn't know, no connection to, but you somehow were weirdly attracted to them, and you had access to masturbate, obviously, to jack off.
God, so much pressure right now.
I know.
I mean, I just remember watching Wild On with Brooke Burke, the like party show, like that was on E at 11 p.m.
I'm not even sure what this is.
and being like, I know there's like boobs here somewhere. But then like you'd start jerking off when there were boobs, and then it would be like, when we come back, and then it would cut, and you're like about to come, but it's
And now
like
you're beating up the
a
Neutrogena.
cal-
You're beating up the Neutrogena.
and you're like, I can keep it going for an Herbal Essence commercial.
She looks kind of good. Because
And-
Herbal Essence used to sell sex too.
Herbal Essence
They
would
used to
make
get
you
their
kinda
hair
horny
washed
as
and they
a
used to be
kid.
like, you'd be like, what the fuck shampoo? I should want to fuck shampoo. What's going on here?
It was all because I think the word organic sounds like orgasm.
It did everything.
And we
also,
all had no reference for what organic even
was just
meant.
coming
that we
out.
were
It
like,
was
that
just
sounds
dropping.
like orgasm.
Also, everything was selling sex in the 90s. Everything was like, how can you turn that business that you have or that product you have
Or that
into more
teenager.
sex? Into more sex. It'd be like wine, anything, sex. How can you sell Kellogg's, sex? You're like, that was the 90s, bro.
That's true. Sex sells.
80s maybe too. But not anymore. Kids don't even want to see sex. Kids are lying about sex now. I know some kids who are like 25, 24, 23. They're like afraid to talk to the opposite sex because they're afraid to offend through sex. If that makes sense. Versus when we were young, sex was the only thing people told us about. Even in movies in the 90s and 80s, when you watch old movies, everything has sex in it. Everything was sold
And then
through
you watch
sex.
back and you're like, man, there's a lot of sex. Like,
Bruh,
you couldn't write a
everything-
movie without sex in it.
Everything
Like,
was sold sex.
Well, it's because there wasn't anything. There was not like when there's not as many choices of just things to do. Like, sex is the best one,
That's fair.
and sex is a thing we can all agree on. That like, it's not really bad for you.
Yeah, what's the movie you were watching again, Alana?
365 days.
365 days. And I think this is the trilogy too, because there was another one that said another 365 days. I think it was like a third one that said 365 days again, which is crazy. They would break them down like that. But third one,
When you have it,
and in the movie, it's literally just softcore porn. I didn't watch it. I was peeking in and out. I was walking past through my country, but Alana's watching it, and homegirl's watching it with her. And legitimately, it was just every scene was sex. It was, this is a couple right here. They had sex. And then this guy cheated on his wife with this girl, so they had sex. Now his wife just found out, and now she's mad. So what she gonna do, Chris? She gonna fuck somebody. She has sex. And then on the way home, that guy finds out that his ex-girlfriend fucked somebody. Like, it's just like, it was the weirdest, like, but apparently it's very popular on Netflix. And the movie took place in what country? What was that like based in?
Italy? Wait,
That was Italy? It was somewhere overseas. But
I'm not sure.
whatever it was a lot of sex. And I was just like, damn, I remember a time, like I saw that and thought it was weird because I remember, but then it made me think of a time when I was like, this used to be the world. The world used to sell sex and everything.
HBO too. Real
HBO,
sex.
real sex. At night, Skinamax.
Yep.
Yeah, Skinamax. I beat my
I
dick to
mean-
Skinamax.
Oh,
We even had
I
that
got
shit.
I got a good weirdest thing I beat my dick to.
Yeah.
The select screen at a hotel movie.
You ain't paying for that shit.
When you used to go to hotels,
I'm with you.
You could go. You could buy movies.
Yeah.
To your room.
Grown-up movies, too.
And then you could also go to the grown-up section.
Yeah.
And they would have the posters on display.
Yeah.
And I probably jerked off to just a poster for a porno without buying the
Because
porno.
I'm not buying. I'm with you, Chris. I've never bought a porno from
Which
a
is
hotel.
like
I'm not
can you
buying
imagine nowadays?
because I have to like. First of all, the way I even watch my porn is I like to cut my porn up in my own like personal like search database. So I like to be like, okay,
What?
I don't watch a full porno.
Oh, okay.
I piece things together of like a whole
You're
bunch
like
of
a
different
channel surfer.
Yeah, channel
Okay.
surfer, ADHD.
When you said it the first time, it sounded like you had like a hard drive with like a
No,
system.
I'm just like, all right, I'm feeling this way right now. I don't want to come to that yet, so I'm gonna search this
Yeah, I
thing.
think that's common.
Pretty normal. All right, cool. So like for me, it's like as I was saying something that made sense. A lot of other people, nah, I'm lost now. I'm high. I was gonna say what?
Well, I mean, it started at the weirdest thing you jerked off to,
Weirdest
which you
thing.
still haven't told
No,
us.
I wasn't to the weirdest.
But you were
thing.
getting to the 365 thing.
Yeah, it was just that we watched it and it was like a movie that was just like so based in sex that I was like, damn, it was like 50 Shades of Grey for a
Netflix.
different country.
Oh.
Well, 50 Shades of Grey was Netflix, wasn't it?
Oh, it's a
Or
different
damn
country.
near. Yeah, it was a different country. These were some actors that we didn't know or anything. But every single scene was that, and apparently it's doing really well. Well, they made 3 of them, and it's really big on Netflix. So I was like, I wonder, like, you know, like, kids don't want to watch shit like this. I feel like I just be around like my younger cousins and their perspective on.
Oh, are you kidding me? So many kids are jerking off to that. That's probably why it's doing so well. I mean, think about it. They have Netflix in their room. They may not have.
I think
can
kids
they
like
just go on their fucking phone? Like, can like teenagers?
Yeah,
just,
they
like,
beat up on
open
their phone. They
beat off real quick?
So you don't beat up on your phone either.
I mean, I
Well, you're
will.
you're an old fuck. What do you beat up from? What do you beat up from?
I'll go phone, but I'll also go desktop.
You old fuck because you go desktop more because it's better, right? You can see everything.
It's more of a cinematic
It's
experience.
cinematic experience.
You're sitting
you like
down.
the IMAX the pussy.
Yeah.
You like to feel like it's in 7. Yeah. You like, you know what? This is surround sound. I pay for this. This is 3D glasses.
Wait, have you ever thrown it on a TV?
I have with my girl before.
Okay.
Never by myself. That's wild.
Yeah, that's wild. To throw it on a TV.
Porn on TV by yourself is wild to be like, oh yeah, let's go big screen with it. Now
Yeah,
I have beat off on my monitor, on my computer, which is a pretty big monitor, which, you know.
What?
You're like, whoa.
No, not like whoa. But I'm like, I'll beat off my dick. I'll beat my dick off with the she's been asleep the whole episode. Thank you. Welcome back, Alahna. But like, yeah, I'll be my dick on my monitor before. But like, for me, my little cousins are like, nah, man, we only watch porn on our phones. And I'm like, that's crazy because I never think to watch porn on my phone.
You never do.
I will if I have to. If I'm being forced. If I'm in a hotel and I left my fucking laptop or iPad, I'm like, ugh.
I got an iPad recently, and I mainly do work on it, and then I'll go through the news and whatnot, but I don't really do like social stuff on it. So then when I tried it out for porn, I was like, this feels wrong. Like I felt like I was like at work or something.
Yeah, I didn't use porn on my iPad. Yeah, I got a new iPad too. I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, I could say keep it in one lane. Wait, so the last question, what is
a
yours?
person.
Are you gonna say what yours is?
It was a person, and then you answered it in a different way. Now I feel weird. Now I'm not gonna answer. It was just a person that I had a weird crush on. That like, you never had a crush on like a character or a person that you like knew you should. A character. When I say a character, it was definitely a person, but it wasn't an animation or anything. It was a real person. I'm scared to say it now. They were on a TV show.
Hillary from Fresh Prince?
No, see, that would be somewhat normal. That person was still young, like somewhat.
Viv.
My person was kind of older. Who?
And Viv.
That's closer.
Who was it?
It's not that. It was Cheryl Lee Ralph, who is now the black lady, one of the teachers on Abbott Elementary, but she was the mom on Moesha.
Oh, so you felt like so now when you see her on that show, you
She used
feel
to
like
have cakes. She used to be caked up on that thing. And I don't want to disrespect her because she's a black queen. And I'm sorry. But as a kid, I used to have the biggest crush on her. I was like, oh, she's so bad. And now I'm like, yo, you were so wrong for having a crush on that woman.
How old was she?
How old was she? Probably 42, some shit.
You know, ain't nothing wrong with that.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I think you're allowed to.
I would guess, how old is she now? That's my question.
Is it the older teacher?
The black lady, yeah.
She's great.
She's great, right? Mm-hmm. Shirley Ralph. I just, that's my baby. That's my baby. She's 65 now. But she was, I think, Miss America at one point, too.
Oh, wow.
I might be lying about that, though. No, she definitely did some shit. She was something early that I was like, I'm sorry. She was Dina Jones in Dreamgirls, in the original Dreamgirls. She was the star of the original Dreamgirls. That was what I was talking about. But no, just like I had a crush on her. And she was like stern. She wasn't that easy for Moesha to get along with. But that was what I liked about her. I'm not sure how we got here. I appreciate you for taking this journey with me.
Yeah,
Chris.
thanks for tuning in to Wine and Weed.
Yeah.
Guys.
Zip it up.
Zip it out. We'll see you next week.
Yeah. Shirley Ralph. Nucky.
Bye.